Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 hilarious MCU moments.
Loki's alive. Can you believe it? He's up there. Loki, look who it is.
Somebody stairs!
What master do you serve? What master do I serve? What am I supposed to say, Jesus?
For this list, we'll be going over the Marvel Cinematic Universe scenes that make us laugh the hardest. If there's a hysterical MCU moment whose absence from our list you are unamused by, please tell us your favorite in the comments. Number 20. Work Pals, Thor Ragnarok. Thor's arrival on the planet Sakaar doesn't begin very auspiciously. He's captured almost immediately and forced to become a gladiator in an arena where the guy made of rocks is considered pretty average.
Hey, take it easy, man. Over here, there's a pile of rocks waving at you. Here. Yeah, I'm actually a thing. I'm a being.
His brother Loki has also schemed his way into the good graces of the local Grand Master. Things look even more grim as the reigning champion is hyped up for the crowd.
This is it.
Let's get ready to welcome this guy. Here he comes.
But as it turns out, the champion is the Hulk. As hilarious as Loki's immediate desire to be anywhere else is, Thor's happiness is even funnier.
Yes!
I have to get off this planet.
His reference to Hulk being a friend from work is also the funniest possible way to describe their relationship.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
Number 19. Thor loves coffee, needs a horse. Thor.
Just drink, I like it.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe has constantly utilized the fish out of water trope to great effect, with Thor often at the center of it. He is from a different realm after all. One of his funniest moments came during his first visit to Earth. In need of sustenance, Thor hits up a diner, and it's there his otherworldliness begins to emerge.
Another!
After draining a cup of coffee, he slams it on the floor and demands another, before marching into a pet shop and requesting a horse for transportation.
I need a horse!
It's the fact that he is saying these things with 100% sincerity, not to mention a boatload of arrogance, that makes these moments so freaking hilarious.
What was that?
It was delicious. I want another.
Well, you could have just said so.
I just did.
No, I mean, ask nicely.
Number 18. Get help. Thor Ragnarok.
Do you truly think so little of me?
Loki, I thought the world of you.
Thor Ragnarok was one seriously funny flick, and much of the humor came from the interplay between adoptive brothers Thor and Loki. In the third act, the duo find themselves in an elevator together. Knowing that when the doors open, they will be confronted by heavily armed guards, Thor suggests that they do get help.
Hey, let's do get help.
What?
Get help.
No.
Come on, you love it.
I hate it.
It's great. It works every time.
It's humiliating.
Do you have a better plan?
No.
We're doing it.
Loki immediately shoots down the idea, mostly because it involves him pretending to be hurt so that Thor can launch him towards a slew of unsuspecting guards.
We are not doing get help.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying!
And while it's definitely humiliating, it is incredibly effective, not to mention funny.
Classic.
Still hate it?
Number 17. Playing GALAGA, the Avengers. One of the first meetings between the original Avengers sees the group around a table aboard S.H.I.E.L.'s helicarrier. When Tony Stark arrives, he naturally begins talking a mile a minute and drawing attention.
Also, means the portal can open as wide and stay open as long as Loki wants. Raise the missile mast. Ship top test.
When he begins messing with the ship's controls, he starts rambling a bit, including calling a technician out for secretly playing the arcade game GALAGA.
That man is playing GALAGA. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It seems like a random bit of dialogue from Tony and a fun reference for people who get it.
I understood that reference.
But at the end of the scene, when Tony leaves, cuts to a random S.H.I.E.L.D. tech who indeed begins playing GALAGA. Number 16. Tony miscalculates his thrusters. Iron Man.
Okay, let's do this right.
The film that set the standard for all future Marvel flicks, Iron Man remains one of the franchise's funniest entries, and with no shortage of great scenes to choose from, we were hard-pressed to pick just one. So we went with two. The first is when Tony is trying out his thrusters for the first time.
And 3, 2, 1.
Underestimating their power, he asks for 10% thrust capacity and is promptly propelled backward and into the ceiling, only to be doused by one of his robot assistants with a fire extinguisher. In the second, we see Tony trying out his thrusters again, only this time, he offers up some choice words for his robotic pal.
If you douse me again and I'm not on fire, I'm donating you to City College.
Number 15. Peter's best friend finds out he's Spider-Man. Spider-Man Homecoming.
You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
I'm not.
Fans waited a long time for Spidey to join the MCU, and when his feature-length Homecoming arrived, it delivered in terms of quality and quality jokes. One of the best moments was when Ned finds out that the masked vigilante known as Spider-Man is none other than his high school buddy. The look on Ned's face when he realizes who Peter has been moonlighting as is priceless.
Ned, what are you doing in my room?
Man, let me in. You said we're gonna finish a Death Star.
You can't just bust into my room.
It's almost as good as the reaction Aunt May had when she discovered the same thing, though with slightly less cursing.
What the
Side note, did anyone else wince when Ned dropped that immaculately assembled Death Star? Where were the quick reflexes and Spidey sense when the Empire needed him, Parker?
What was that?
Number 14. Snake Story. Thor Ragnarok. Eager to get off of Sakaar to save Asgard from his sister Hela, Thor and Bruce Banner ally with Valkyrie to get revenge as the Revengers.
Has it got a name?
It's called the Revenges.
The Revengers?
Because I'm getting revenge. You're getting revenge, and what do you want revenge?
I'm undecided.
Valkyrie sweetens their alliance by revealing that she's captured Loki. However, the newly formed team hits a snag. In order to get a ship strong enough to survive the wormhole back, they might have to trust Loki, who has tried to kill them all.
I was just talking to him just a couple of minutes ago, and he was totally ready to kill any of us.
He did try to kill me.
Yes, me too. Many occasions.
As evidence, Thor relates an anecdote from their childhood, wherein Loki turned into a snake, which Thor picked up. Loki then shapeshifted back into himself and stabbed his brother.
There was one time when we were children, he transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So I went to pick up the snake to admire it, and he transformed back into himself, and he was like, "Yeah, it's me!" And he stabbed me.
Chris Hemsworth's delivery is hilarious. We could watch him say, "Blah, it's me," on loop, as are Mark Ruffalo and Tom Hiddleston's reactions. Number 13. America's Ass. Avengers Endgame. The time travel in Avengers Endgame offers a huge number of opportunities for comedy. One of the biggest laughs in the movie is the result of a trip back to the aftermath of the first Avengers film. While observing their past selves, Tony Stark comments on Steve Rogers' outfit, declaring that it makes his backside look ridiculous.
That suit did nothing for your ass.
No one asked you to look, Tony.
It's ridiculous.
Ant-Man defends Steve's posterior, saying that he considers it America's ass, and even saluting.
I think you look great, Cap. As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
This alone is outrageously funny, but the gag gets even better when, after defeating his past self in a fight, Cap checks out his own butt and agrees that it's worthy of being America's ass.
That is America's ass.
It certainly makes us laugh our asses off. Number 12. Adopted. The Avengers. Yeah, we're not done with that roundtable scene. It's got so much gold. The Avengers discuss Loki's plan to bring an army of Chitauri to Earth. Bruce Banner claims they shouldn't worry too much about Loki himself since he's clearly crazy.
I've care how you speak. Loki is beyond reason, but he is of Asgard. And he's my brother.
Although Thor starts to defend his brother, Black Widow cites Loki's mass murder spree.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
Prompting Thor to swiftly backpedal and mutter weakly that Loki is adopted.
He's adopted?
The contrast between Thor's previously grand manner of speaking with this down-to-earth response is fantastic. It practically encapsulates what makes him such a funny character in general. Number 11. DRAX'S special skill, Avengers Infinity War. All of the Guardians of the Galaxy are hysterical in their own way, but Drax is something special. When Quill and Gamora have a romantic moment, it's interrupted by an unexpected crunch.
Dude.
We then pull back to see Drax standing there eating nuts. When they ask how long he's been there, Drax claims to have been there for an hour. Furthermore, he asserts he's able to stand so still that he becomes invisible.
Watch.
You're eating a Zarg nut.
But my movement was so slow that it's imperceptible.
His demonstration is less than convincing, but still funny. Mantis saying hi to him may burst Drax's bubble, but it makes us burst out laughing. Clearly, they all broke his concentration. Number 10. Luis's long story. Ant-Man.
So I'm at this art museum with my cousin Ignacio, right? And there was this like abstract expressionism exhibit.
Luis, Scott Lang's motor-mouthed criminal ally, was a straight-up scene stealer in 2015's Ant-Man. And while he gave us plenty to choose from, it's this scene in which he tells a long-winded story which makes us laugh the most. The scene works because of two things: Luis's rapid-fire storytelling ability and the fact that he dubs all of the characters that appear on screen.
Yo, I met this crazy fine writer chick at the spot last night. Like fine, like crazy stupid fine. And he goes up to the bartender and goes, "Look at the girl I'm with."
As it unfolds, one can't help but laugh, particularly the moment when Luis speaks for the big man himself, Stan Lee. Be honest, did you ever think you'd see the comic book legend mouth the words "crazy stupid fine"? Yeah, we didn't think so.
Yeah, crazy stupid fine.
Number 9. Meeting Korg, Thor Ragnarok. What kind of list would this be if we didn't include multiple scenes from Thor Ragnarok? Korg, the self-described pile of rocks that Thor meets when imprisoned by the Grand Master, is perhaps the greatest side character in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. To date, that is.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here.
The film's New Zealand director Taika Waititi voices Korg, and he brings exactly the same kind of wit to the character that he became known for in his previous work.
This whole thing is a circle, but not a real circle, more like a freaky circle.
Korg is laid back, totally deadpan, and incredibly lovable, all of which is on display during his first meeting with the God of Thunder. That rock, paper, scissors joke? Priceless.
You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you.
Number 8. Drax doesn't get metaphors. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with the walking thesaurus on that one.
Do not ever call me a thesaurus.
Guardians of the Galaxy broke the mold in many ways. It proved that superhero films could be silly and that comedy doesn't always have to take a back seat to action. Leading the way was Drax, who Rocket describes as being completely literal. This means that any metaphors thrown his way will inevitably go over his head. Of course, if you tell him that, he'll quickly remind you that nothing goes over his head.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
Drax only gets funnier in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, particularly the scene in which he starkly rebuffs Mantis's advances.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm imagining being with you physically.
Drax, that's not... I don't like you like that.
Number 7. Shakespeare in the Park, The Avengers. Thor meets the other Avengers in dramatic fashion by stealing his brother away from them. Thor's attempts to reach his brother are hilariously interrupted just as he instructs his brother to listen to him.
I'm listening.
Iron Man knocks Thor into the forest. When Thor tries to tell Tony he has no idea what he's dealing with, Mr. Stark responds by sarcastically comparing Thor to a production of Shakespeare in the Park.
Shakespeare in the Park?
He also compares Thor's cape to his mother's drapes in a thoroughly Shakespearean way. The short sequence is as funny as it is action-packed.
Okay.
Also, if Thor wanted to get Tony back, he could have compared Tony's suit to wearing his father's sports car, if Thor knows what a sports car is. Number 6. Falling for 30 minutes. Thor Ragnarok. When Thor and Loki go looking for Odin on Earth, the brothers are interrupted by Doctor Strange, who separates the pair by making Loki fall through a portal.
What's this? What are you doing?
This isn't me.
Loki.
Strange has an amicable and often funny chat with Thor, in which he agrees to locate Odin if he and Loki leave after they find their father.
We're looking for my father.
So, if I were to tell you where Odin was, all parties concerned would promptly return to Asgard?
Promptly.
Great. Then I'll help you.
By the end, the audience has almost forgotten Loki, at least until Doctor Strange opens a portal and Loki collapses on the ground, declaring that he's been falling for 30 minutes.
I suppose I'll need my brother back.
Oh, yeah, right.
I have been falling for 30 minutes!
Tom Hiddleston's exasperated delivery is gold. Also, would anyone else watch Loki falling for half an hour? Number 5. Spider-Man talks too much. Captain America: Civil War.
Wait, it's nothing, Mr. Stark. It's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay.
Captain America: Civil War won't go down as one of the funnier entries in the MCU, but that doesn't mean that this superhero thriller is completely devoid of humor. In fact, the banter between Spider-Man and the rest of the superheroes during the iconic airport fight is straight up hilarious.
Those wings carbon fiber?
Is this stuff coming out of you?
That would explain the rigidity-flexibility ratio, which, gotta say, that's awesome.
Of course, the best part comes when he asks Falcon how his wings work, to which he replies, "There's usually not this much talking." Hey, you can't exactly fault the guy. It was his first big-time battle.
I don't know if you've been in a fight before, but there's usually not this much talking.
All right, sorry, my bad.
Number 4. Drax asks why. Avengers: Infinity War. Infinity War leads to the different parts of the MCU coming together in new and often funny ways. Maybe the funniest such scene is when the Guardians of the Galaxy encounter Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange aboard one of Thanos' ships.
Everybody stay where you are, chill the F out!
Although the whole scene is full of great lines, such as the Avengers realizing Star-Lord is from Earth, the best moment happens because of a question from Quill.
Where is Gamora?
Tony Stark replies by asking, "Who is Gamora?" And then, prompted by absolutely no one, Drax says,
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
It's such a bizarre and hysterical line, and it never fails to make us laugh. Number 3. Mary Poppins. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The Guardians are threatened by the huge sovereign fleet while trying to save the galaxy from Ego. In a last-ditch effort, Nebula wires herself into the mining ship she, Yondu, and Peter Quill are aboard, launching laser blasts at all the ships around them.
This is gonna hurt. Promises, promises.
However, the ship explodes as a result. Thankfully, Quill has a jetpack on and Yondu has his psychic arrow, which lets him float down. And Nebula is a cyborg? Anyway, Quill comments that Yondu looks just like Mary Poppins.
What? You look like Mary Poppins.
His father figure unknowingly asks if he, Poppins, is cool. Quill, not wanting to ruin the moment, replies that he is. Yondu's proud Papa moment declaring that he is Mary Poppins is both heartwarming and hilarious, y'all.
Is he cool?
Hell yeah, he's cool.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
Number 2. Lifting Thor's hammer. Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Whatever, man, it's a trick.
Well, please be my guest.
We love this scene for so many reasons. For starters, the simple pleasure of watching the Avengers pal it up over a few beers will never get old. Second, the idea that this is what they do in their downtime is just too good. As the gang takes turns trying to lift Thor's hammer, viewers get to revel in the various members' ineptitude, with the exception of Captain America, who actually manages to make Mjolnir quiver.
Come on, Cap.
Nothing.
The look on Thor's face is worth 1,000 words, and the look of relief that follows it when he realizes Cap can't actually lift it is even better. We could watch this scene on a loop.
You're all not worthy.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Reading Emotions, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. DRAX'S joy at Quill's embarrassment brings us joy.
She just told everyone your deepest, darkest secret.
Dude, come on. I think you're overreacting a little bit.
You must be so embarrassed.
Squidward, Avengers Infinity War. Does that make Ebony Maw's buddies SpongeBob or Mr. Krabs?
Trespassing in this city and on this planet. It means get lost, Squidward.
Colonizer, Black Panther. As far as slang words for British people go, this one's not bad.
All right, where am I?
Don't scare me like that, Colonizer.
Pepper walks in on Tony, Iron Man, if you know what he means.
What's going on here?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Puny God, The Avengers. Hulk is definitely more about the physical humor, as demonstrated when he treated Loki like a ragdoll in the third act of The Avengers. For the majority of the film, Loki tiptoed his way around trouble, using his various pawns to keep himself out of harm's way.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature.
So when the Hulk interrupted Loki's monologue about his own greatness by clobbering him into the ground, it was both relieving and side-splitting. Someone should have reminded Loki that pride comes before the fall.
Puny God.
Hulk may be a creature of few words, but he sure knows how to pick 'em. At least Loki gets to appreciate it from the outside later on.
That's how it feels!
I'm just a huge fan of the sport.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.